It's your boy DJ Tronn, and you're now watching Underrated Creators. I think like everybody, you know what I mean, as you get out of high school, you trying to figure out what you gonna do. And you know, the first thing you try to do is with music. You want to be a rapper, you know what I mean? But when I got my first apartment, I was sitting there looking at this movie with Usher in it called In the Mix. And I was like, hey, this DJ and stuff make it look cool. Like, he just doing a big club, had a nice little loft and all that. I was like, man, I'm gonna be a part of that. And so a month or so down the line, like, my homegirl ended up putting me in contact with some people, and they ended up pretty much being my cousin and them at Ruston and Tech and whatever. His name DJ Red Table, shout out to him. And he was like, man, I'm gonna show you the ropes of how this DJ and stuff going. You know what I mean? Brought me in, put me under his wing, and they ended up throwing this like little party over there. And he was like, hey, I'm just gonna get you the DJ for me and whatnot. I'm like, all right, bet. He came back there maybe about an hour or so later. Was like, man, you rocking it, you doing your thing. Ever since then, I was like, okay, this is it. Shout out to Big Ant at Cumulus at 99.7. He came to me when I was really I was starting Inferno and I was working radio, and shout out to Scooter Man Pro for that too. He told me, he was like, man, don't DJ in sets. Just work on your craft as a DJ, because music consistently is going to change. And you never know how your crowd is going to be. So just work on your craft. I was taught to read off body language, you know what I mean? A frown, a smile, or anything like that can really show a lot. If I come in and it feels tense in the crowd and whatnot, and I know, okay, I need to play a little something upbeat for them, you know, get them a little bit more loose or whatever. I do this thing called like a 3 and out. A lot of legendary DJs pretty much do that. You play a 3 of a certain genre of music, and then you go to the next one and see how the people react to it. And if the body reaction is what you want it to be, you know what I mean, because you played this song a certain way, then hey, we're gonna go from there and keep it going, just keep the wave going and whatnot. For other DJs that's looking to get into this and trying to like get a big name for this, is figure out what type of DJ that you want to be first, because there's plenty of DJs, EDM DJs. There's like, I'm a lounge DJ. I like to do more laid back situations and laid back parties and stuff like that. Then not only that, figure out your way of DJing. What I mean that is, figure out your madness. Do you scratch better? Do you even talk a little bit more? What kind of DJ are you? You know. Look, you can catch me on Instagram at Groovy with the Mix, Tronn Moller Jr. on Facebook with the period at the end. Shout out to Lake Street. Still going on. Look, I will be there. I want to check it out. I want to be able to support them and whatnot. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Royalty. I think Royalty is doing something too. Royalty at the night, at the midnight or at night or whatever. I forgot. Sorry, don't. Hey, charge to my head, not my heart. You know what I'm saying? On that. But I think, I think that's it for right now. I think what the Good Times Road Festival is this weekend too. So, okay, I believe that's pretty much it. I could be wrong, and again, charge to my head, not my heart. You know?
Hey man, we ain't charged nothing to my boy. Like I said, this is a good dude. This a humble dude, and I mean, as honest as you can get. Like I said, I've never met a person like Tronn, like say, what you see is what you get. He go keep it real, and like say, humble. I've just, that's the person I've grown to know. So they can see you now on social media, man. You know, I got the fire up talking about the Juneteenth event. It's happening at Lake Street this Thursday, man. You're on the crowd control, so he's kind of talking about crowd control on the radio. Whenever I see that term, I say, I coin it with you. I know you say it's not something you can, but like, when you know something gonna be hot, you know, say check out Tronn Moller page. Like the crowd control, it seems like, man, it's gonna be like bumping, like man, you gonna be like you holding down like you security. Come on, you know, you gonna have it bumping. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, let me get that. Yeah, you got both gotta be hype. Yeah.
Hey man, this how it always is with him though, y'all. This how it always is him, man. So all right, like I said, I want to welcome y'all once again to What's Up Shreveport. What's happening? The guest, yours truly, DJ Tronn Moller. He's a DJ, a producer, a podcaster,
come on now,
an influencer, a content creator.
Come on now.
Look, I'm about to remix it. He's a DJ, a podcaster, a producer, and an influencer.
Come on now,
content creator. So I had to make sure y'all heard that. Y'all gotta feel that.
2 times for your mind.
Man, you better put some respect on his name with a K. 1, 2, 3, 4. KKK. Put some respect on his name.
Come on now, yeah. You hear that, man? Talking that good stuff.
Man, like I tell y'all, this is personal for me right here because like I say, this is my boy. And like I said on the radio, like he's a brother to me. Man, he's always came through for me, like the biggest moments of my life that I've had recently. Like he's always there. Hey, I call him, man, what you need? I'm there. Like I don't have too many people like that. And like I say, you've always been there for me, man. I really appreciate you. I want to give you your flowers.
Thank you.
And look, okay, so this event that's coming up this Thursday at Lake Street. Do you want to kind of tell us a bit about it before we get more into you?
Oh yeah, man. Rhythm Rhymes and Vibes, man, at Lake Street bar, man. Rhythm Rhymes and Vibes. Let's get a little in context about it. It ain't nothing but like you can come see your local artists. You can come see your poets. You can come see or you just come catch a vibe with your boy and just listen to your favorite R&B jams, or maybe turn up a little bit, come get you a drink at Lake Street. But it's just nothing that I'm big on the community, and I'm big on making it happen for like my people that's really doing their thing with their art. And so Rhythm Rhymes, that's what we created, Rhythm Rhymes and Vibes. And so like I said, some Thursdays, well this Thursday will be Juneteenth. And so we'll do the poetry night. And so I got some amazing poets that's going to have come out there like Tookie and A Will and Fee and whatnot. They'll come out there and sport their hearts out, you know what I mean, in poetry and whatnot. And I might have a couple artists that come do their same thing. But for sure, this Thursday would just pretty much be the poetry night, man. But you come enjoy yourself, man. And if you got a poem or some spoken word that you want to put on there, hey, come talk to me like, hey, I want to get on there. I got you. We ain't discriminating. We ain't gonna laugh at you too. Pour your heart out. We here for you. You know, that's the way to come be free and be you. You know what I mean? Rhythm Rhymes and Vibes, my bad, at Lake Street Bar, you know, with your boy DJ Tronn, man. Poetry night this Thursday.
On the crowd control. We gotta make sure he's on the crowd control. So if it gotta be crowd control, y'all know it's gonna be popping up in that thing, man.
Yeah. Come on, bro. Come on. You know, you see my name on it, you know it's gonna be a party.
Absolutely. So man, how long has Rhythm Rhymes and Vibes been going on, man?
It really started maybe the week before Huntington Homecoming last year. I've been DJing for Lake Street pretty much a year now, and then it just went to I was just trying to figure something out, and I just have all these artists like that I'm kicking with, I'm cool with, and I like their music, and I was like, man, well, I have a platform, let's not do something with it. But then shout out to Tookie and them, they were just like, look, we want something to do later on in the week. And so I was like, all right, cool. And so I wanted to like find something that would, or give it a name that like it would be everything. Like it would be just not just poetry, not just music, or not just me DJing, just give it a whole little thing. So we came with Rhythm Rhymes and Vibes. And so that started like I said, really before Huntington Homecoming, and then it kind of after off a little bit. So and now we here. We almost a year yet, but we almost there. A year full of just Rhythm Rhymes and Vibes at Lake Street. You know, it's still growing. I got more that I want to do with it. Like bring some different type of poets and like different artists and like, you know, expand and whatnot. Keep going with it, you know. So it been that about we're gonna say about a good 6, maybe 7 months of strong Rhythm Rhymes and Vibes. So
okay. Yeah. All right, so look, man, you know, we was kind of talking offline, you know, like, and you know, so would you be considered the resident DJ at Lake Street? I don't know how that actually
in a way. I mean, if I guess you. I mean, you had to ask, Fred on that one, but
Mhm.
in a way, if he probably doing something because he like how well I'm a DJ and I'm like kind of like versatile with it.
Mhm.
He'll call me and be like, "Hey man, you want to do this for me and whatnot?" And we'll go from there. And then like, but you can kind of say that pretty much. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So for those that don't know, like, I mean, you've been on the ones and twos at different locations
Oh yeah.
For a minute, man. So where did that start? Where did DJ Tronn start? Where was your beginning, bro?
Like the very beginning.
Your very beginning.
Oh man, this was I was gosh shit. It was 2013, man. I had ended up going with my cousin and them out there in Ruston, right? And it had just see, this is kind of like the part I did not tell on Satch thing. So
Okay.
I had already had a laptop because I kind of figured out a little bit about DJing a little bit, so I know I needed a laptop. And so at that point, I didn't have a turntable, and I ended up doing this party at LSUS, and I end up telling them Negroes to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, oh man, I'm giving slurs, but apologize for that. But I end up telling them to come and whatnot, LSUS, and man, I did not have the right equipment, right? And I didn't. The speakers wasn't nothing. It was just like, and I didn't have enough music to be playing. People showed up, and I was just like, man, what am I? I got to figure something else. I got to do something better with what I'm doing, man. It's not it. The crowd gone. I don't know what I thought it was gonna happen. So that day after is when my cousin really came was like, look, man, come to Ruston. We're gonna kind of show you how to do this, really. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And not be BSing with yourself, playing around. And so when we went out there, I went to Ruston. I didn't know he was red tables at the time. You know what I mean? I know this boy is Malcolm. You know what I mean? This is my cousin. I've been playing in the sandbox with him for a little minute. This ain't red tables, but I got to see the thing behind DJing. It was like, oh, okay. And like I always say, when you get out of high school and you've been to music, the first thing you want to do is probably be a rapper. But then he kind of showed me the way of like, okay, this is DJing can be just like being an artist, like being a rapper or whatnot. But you got to be good. You got to have a style to go with it. You got to be a good DJ though. And so, man, from 2013 to 2015, I was pretty much just out there. So I kind of see like the DJs that like we see now, like that are like big names like DJ Twin, Fiji, DJ Star, all them like I got to see them as on the come up, you know what I mean? And they didn't know who I was.
Now, is this the Go DJs? Ain't it like a click
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got to see them coming up, and like I'm just a little dude, man. I got this big gap, you know what I mean? I'm trying to grow my hair and whatnot. They don't really know. I'm just running around with Twin and I'm watching them, being behind them, like really doing it, like just like, okay, man, these boys making it happen. Like, if y'all remember the 3-headed monster and stuff like that in Monroe, like I was there, I was just in the background, so when I got to really see it, but see, it comes a time, like I said, at 2015, to where you have to realize like who you are and like are you gonna steady be in the shadows behind, man? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it took a really shift because I had to realize I wasn't even in college. You know what I mean? I'm just coming to their school. I'm just coming to being a part of what they got going on. I need my own thing. I'm building red tables up. I'm not building DJ Tronn up, even though behind the scenes God working in a different way. But you know what I mean?
Right.
But I didn't know that. I'm building up him. So I came back home. I was like, hey, bro, like, well, I ain't saying I was always coming back and forth, but this time I just decided to stay in Shreveport. And I was like, hey, man, I'm just going to start from right here. But then, see, God will take you through a different way, though.
Right.
Because that's 2013, 2015. 2000, what is it? 2000, end of 2014, I ended up being 21, right?
Okay.
And so my life changed. It went from me trying to be this DJ from me being a bartender.
Okay.
Like, and that was like way left because I want to be a DJ.
Right.
But it went to me being a bartender, and so it started. I went to working at Daiquiri Express, right?
Okay.
And so Daiquiri Express, it showed me management. It showed me management and responsibility because that was like my real first like job, and then like I don't say first job, but it was my real. It showed me I can make some money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so it ended up going into like. It became big. It became big over there at Daiquiri Express. I ended up bringing up Daiquiri Express on Pines Road. So if y'all remember me from Pines Road, you know, we did our thing and whatnot. But my stepdad at the time, he ended up hollering at me, right? He was just like, man, you want to come bartend for Hayes? And I was just like, bartend for Hayes? I don't bartend for Hayes. I'm doing my thing over here at Daiquiri Express.
On the crowd control.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, this right. You know what I'm controlling my it's going hard. You know what I mean? But, you know, so end up, he was like, man, the thing was, I was going through this, how can I put it? This strong pro-black phase, right?
Okay.
And so he said, they black owners. And I was like, I'm gone. I'm knocking over. I'm knocking over.
It's crowd control.
I'm crowd control. I said, man, he said they black owned. I said, man, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Right? Boom, boom. So I ended up leaving. Now, but this is a great thing because it ended up pipelining back to my passion.
Okay.
Right? It ended up pipelining back to my passion to where I was able to be in the room with DJs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? With great DJs. Chico, Be Cool, P2K.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I even got to say, I get to say baby. I'm gonna get to say baby for, you know what I mean, for a good I got to see it other than just hear about it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like it's different, especially have a New Orleans background. And like you'll go down the street and whatnot, and you'll see a famous DJ or a known DJ at that time. And so it's like cool to sit there and talk to him and whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Showboy CJ, all these different type of DJs that'll be around. So, but out here it was kind of different. You know what I mean? It was a little different because I didn't know the law of the land in a way of what was going on. So to be in Hayes, it was just like, oh man. And shout out to Hayes. You know what I mean? They gave me my real first experience. But I end up, you know, working that little situation out, and I end up coming to Ant, and I was like, say, man, I want to be a DJ, you know what I mean? Boom, boom. I don't know. He ended up telling like Be Cool and them and whatever. But Be Cool kind of came on to me and was like, man, I got you. I'm gonna show you how to. He didn't know I knew how to DJ, but he showed me the hustle and what it takes to be a great DJ. Like he elevated my skills. Be versatile. Don't just be playing ratchet music, man. You gotta learn how to play something for the old folks, play for the young folks, play, you know, stuff like that. And so that then was more like, okay, all right, I got a different level to myself and whatnot. But at that time, Shady Will, bro, I still wasn't DJing. I was still not. I was bartending. Right?
So every now and then you get over there and get behind.
No.
Okay.
No, it wasn't no.
More like school, like you kind of still kind of learn.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm over here being the bartender because I ain't gonna lie, I'm making money. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm making money over here. Shady Will, it wasn't until so that's 2015. I was there from 2015 to the end of 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until shout out to Christian from Words of a Latte.
Okay.
It wasn't until Christian was like, she was like, look, I know you bartended and I know you trying to be this DJ, right? Mm-hmm. But look, you got to get yourself in a system, some type of way of getting in there. So she said, come be a bartender for me over here, Laugh Out Loud, and then you know, when we can schedule in the DJ, I just throw you in there. And I'm like, all right, cool, you know what I mean? And then at that time, it just happened, like, I get how God worked, I got back in touch with Be Cool.
Yeah.
And so he ended up saying, I'm going to bring you to these biker parties. And I was like, okay, cool. And I just worked it. I had to work with what I got. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest. Don't nobody know me as being a DJ. Don't everybody know me as Tronn the bartender. So it's like, all right, so I got to make my name for myself again. And so Shady Will, it still wasn't working. It didn't come until 2019. That was 2018 that happened. 2019, I had my big little break, right?
Okay.
It wasn't until I was bartending at Hayes, and I bartending at Hayes still and DJing on like Fridays for Laugh Out Loud, right? But I was bartending during the week, and then after I leave there, because it would only be open from like 7 to 11, and so I go to Inferno, and bartending, and making more money, boom, 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 right?
Right.
I say to Brandon, James, and Malcolm, I was like, say, I'm really like the coldest DJ in the city. I'm talking because, Be Cool and them know, I'm a DJ. Shout out to Duke and them. They know, boom, boom, that I DJing and all this other stuff. But they was like, they getting them. And I ain't mad at it. Like, all right, cool. Man, so they was like, they kind of blew me off, whatever the case may be. And that's cool, They don't know me as that. I'm making money for you behind the bar. Why would you want to go be a DJ? Cool. Man, Malcolm ended up coming to Words Over Latte that next Monday. And the DJ did not come. And I'm talking stuff, right? I'm like, hey man, I'm really the coldest. I'm bartending though. I'm really the coldest. And Christian came and tapped me, was like, hey, we need you to DJ. Oh boy, I was like, see, I'm about to show you now. All in my bartender clothes, right? I go up there and I cut up, right? We cut up and it was a good thing, boom, boom. We have a meeting that Friday and they were just like, that Thursday, we're like, hey, we're going to try Tronn out, boom, boom. And then it kind of went from there, right? In 2019, we booming, right? Booming. It gets like Inferno takes off. If you remember them Inferno days, it takes off. Me and Duke was killing them. Yeah. Right? Now, Shady Will hurt. We come into 2020. Now, this is the week before COVID. The weekend before they shut everything for COVID. Yeah. Man, we have a big party. All 3 floors is done, right? I'm trying to intake in like, man, we did it. Like, we doing it. Boom, boom, boom. We didn't know what was going to happen. Shady Will, I'm just now starting to make a little DJ money. Yeah. COVID hit and I'm hurt. No more DJing, no more nothing. Like, I have to start over. Everything is closed down. There's nothing. Okay. Like, what do you do in that? Like, you just now making it to your passion. Like, I'm just now becoming DJ Tronn. Like, and I know you probably got more questions. I didn't went ahead and ran off the. Oh no, it's about you though. This is definitely about you. So this is what we want to hear. Oh man, well, hey, it ran off, man. Okay. I had to sit there and pray to God. Like, ran off on the plug twice, bro. Like, man. All right. So, we talked offline. So look, for those that are watching and listening, we only got a piece of what's going on. This is 2025. So Tronn gave us a timeline up to about COVID. So we're saying 2019, 2020. So we want to get to 2025. Okay. So we're going to just zoom to 2025. Okay. Okay. New club. Okay. Downtown Shreveport, the Avenue. Right. We kind of talked about, when you go in there, there's a painted wall and it says, Shreveport, Louisiana DJs. Yeah. So, I seen it online when I seen like Kenneth Howard, shout out to Kenneth Howard, like went to high school together. I know Kenny pretty well. We work together. That's my boy. Yeah. So I seen that and I'm looking specifically for you when I seen it. My boy just sitting there posted up. Yeah. I said, man, my boy has made it. Yeah. I was like, and I didn't want to tell you because I didn't know if you already knew or if it was going to be a surprise. When you put it out there, I was like, maybe, the DJ's going to come to the club. Yeah. So, man, when that happened, tell us about that situation when you got the word about it. Hey, man, shout out to my boy Fleet, too. I didn't know. Fleet was the first one that called me. And it was like, hey, man, you seen it? I don't think he had even posted it just yet at that time. Yeah. But he was like, man, you seen it? And I was like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. He was just like, man, I'm all right. He's like, I'm gonna call you back. And if you know him, he ain't gonna never call you back. You see what I'm saying? So I end up. It just so one day I look on Facebook and I'm getting tagged in this stuff, and I'm like, what's getting tagged in? And I'll end up looking, and it just so happened to be that, and I was like, oh wow, hey, this is crazy. Is this for real? Like this serious? Like I thought they was just BSing. You know what I mean? You know how people can put like a design, like a what they want up there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you make it, and it looks so real. I'm like, man, this ain't real. Boom, boom. Yeah. Man, I come to my homie house one day, and he was just like, boy, you ain't seen it? And it just opened up that weekend. And I'm like, nah, I ain't seen it. He's like, man, you better go in and look at it, but take your picture. So I went and took my picture. I was like, oh yeah, man. I ended up seeing Kenny. I was like, man, appreciate it. Cause I ain't, as a person that I just told you that story, but like I never thought I would be on a wall. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't think of myself as that high. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that valuable to be on the wall, be recognized as a Shreveport DJ. So I don't feel like I feel accomplished. I feel like, okay, I did something for Shreveport. Shreveport does recognize me as they DJ, So I'm happy about that. I'm proud. I'm like,
okay. So that mindset, does that put you into another trajectory? Because, like I said, being your boy, I've seen you, bro. Mm-hmm. I've seen you. I don't know the whole story, but I know the majority of the story just from knowing you. Mm-hmm. When you see that, does it give you a reflection? Like, do you okay, job well done. I'm actually finally getting to where I want to be personally. Mm-hmm. You, like, when you seen that, did it change your mindset? Like, or did it make you hungrier? Like, what happened with that? Because we got more stuff to talk about today, but I just want to know about that particular sequence.
It made me more hungry because I still don't feel like I still don't feel like I even touched the pedestal of being a great DJ, even from coming from Shreveport. Mm-hmm. Like I think I got some things I need to grow on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I don't talk as much. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like and that's a thing I need to probably work on a little bit more. But it made me hungry. It made me because I'm not. You don't see me everywhere. Mm-hmm. Right? You know what I mean? You don't see me. I'm not from here. I'm not from Dallas to Monroe. I'm in Shreveport. You might see me in New Orleans. You might see me in Dallas every now and then. But Shreveport knows me. Not to be like that's not a big thing. But I want to be. Sooner or later I want to be bigger than Shreveport. You know what I mean? I want to say, okay, I want to be able to put my city on. You know what I mean? Be like, hey, yeah, I'm from Shreveport. I'm doing my thing. I'm around the country. Like I'm over here in Vegas. So it's for sure made me more hungry. But it made me also humble me too because you humble you because I didn't think I was fortunate or big enough to be on a wall like that. Yeah. But it also was like, hey, keep your head down. If you doing that work like that, and now you just keep your head down, there's nothing to stop you from now to being like, hey, stay humble, keep doing what you're doing. Don't think you bigger than the program. You know what I mean? Don't think, just keep going, keep working, and go from there. So yeah.
Okay. So look, we know this journey that you went on, and we talking about you actually being a DJ. Mm-hmm. So for those that are tuning in, I got to make sure we still put some respect on your name. I say you're not only a DJ, you're also a producer. And this is something, like I say, since I've known you, this is something that you've always had your hands in, man. So let's kind of talk about that, man. You being a producer, man. Like, where did this come about? Revenue Productions. Tell us about that. Like, where did this come about?
Revenue Productions came around officially in 2022. Okay. Revenue Production has always been in me. It just never was Revenue Production the first time.
Gotcha.
All right. So I've always, like you can ask my mom, she's like, man, you've been wanting to call you, I mean, it's going to sound bad right now, but I wanted to be P. Diddy at one point. You see what I'm saying? Like as a kid,
entertainer.
I wanted to be
ultimate entertainer, partier.
But I understood at the time how much his influence was. And like you saw, like Puff Daddy everywhere. Like I listened to Biggie. My mom listening to Biggie and all of them. So you saw him and then he was dancing. I was dancing. We all doing all that, be funny. I thought it was cool. And then he was a producer. You saw him on everything. His voice is on it. So I was like, man, I want to be that as a kid, not knowing really what it is. You know what I mean? So revenue production came upon. It was just more of I saw DJ Drama. DJ Drama started, with the mixtape era and whatnot, and like he had some big songs that like my cousin them used to put me on in New Orleans, especially when the drought and all that was coming through and whatnot. So I was like, man, I didn't know this was a part of it. Could be a part of DJing because I'm not fully at that point. I went into DJing as much, but I knew I wanted to do something in music and making like tapping on stuff, making beats and doing beatboxing and stuff was always a thing. So when I end up coming into like understanding it and like really getting into this DJing thing, I was like, man, look, I gotta have my own brand. I need my own thing, and what's something that it ain't gotta be DJ Tronn Productions. I want something that's be bigger than my name. Like if my kids want to be into this, like and I ain't got no kids right now, but future kids want to be into this, or my sister kids want to be into this. Like anybody that want to be a part of this, it ain't got to see DJ Tronn. So what's one thing that we all want and all need is revenue. So it was just like, hey, so and different revenue can be taken as a different thing. Like it can just be a revenue can just be a source of things that you may need. You know what I mean? So I came with that, and I was just like, okay. I wanted to create like but now I'm figuring out what does that brand look like? Yeah. You know what I mean? What is revenue production, man? What is that going to sound like? Am I going to be like a TDE, or am I going to be a quality control, or am I going to be my own little thing? So that's still a thing that I'm kind of figuring out when it comes down to this running up a whole production squad or one production company. Right. So producing wise though, that started before revenue production came into. I was on some, again, I was always liking beats. I just didn't know how to do it, you know what I mean? But I had people that will always have the stuff. So it was just like, okay. So I heard this dude say, well, why would I learn how to make beats if I got you right here and that'll why, like, we can make money together. So I was like, okay, boom, let's go with that. And so I would have this idea and I would say, hey man, would you put this, like, can you make it something like this and that? And then we'll sit there for like an hour. Shout out to Deezy. We'll sit there for hours and be like, man, this gonna go with it. And so you can have beats all you want to, but if you ain't got nobody rapping on them, you just got beats, you know what I mean? And so what ended up being is my mom say, boy, you better use your resources and whatnot. Right. And so I finally realized that, like, okay, well, I may not can pay currency $100,000 to go rap on this beat, but I got a homie that can kind of rap like him, like, hey, and we making beats. Hey, bro, I'm gonna bring you over here. Let's do this. Let me give you this, whatever. And so, everything don't work out like that. Like as you want it to, maybe in that point. And so, things happen. And but out of that, I end up getting my first time having my voice on the record. Yeah. Right. And that's called shout out to Joseph Glover. It's called Home Bay. Right. Okay. And so I'll end up being what you hear now when you hear me on like Dom and everybody else's Burgess and them projects, and when you hear me say, hey, what's that with your baby? It's your boy DJ Tronn. That's when that first started was. Yeah. We called Home Bay, and I had my little radio segment onto that and whatnot. So that started that. And I was like, well, hey, this can possibly be something like how DJ Drama and them do, whatever case it has. And then it's not big radio presence out here for like artists like him. And different. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have my own segment and whatnot and keep going with that. And so that's where I'm kind of like leading that's the producer part of revenue productions that I do. So, so hey, this, if you know, now you know what I mean? That's how we collab and do that. So any artists that want to work together and get beats and, create a project, not just a single, and then like, let's do that. And so, yeah. Yeah, look, y'all hear, like, say, he's spitting it. And see, the way this story is going, like, I think everything that the skill set that Tronn's acquiring and perfecting and even learning more is becoming like he's becoming the ultimate entertainer. So, we kind of talked about you being a DJ. We talked about you being a producer. Okay, so let's bring you into the world of podcasting. For those that don't know, he has a podcast, Cool in the Dojo, and it's been popping 4 or 5 years strong. Man, so, okay,
where did the motivation for you become a podcaster?
Well, you know, we got to shout out to my boy. You feel me? You got to start it here. You hear me? You got to start it here.
Man, I appreciate it.
It always start with my boy Shady Will, man. Darien Willis is like, hey, you are, and I know we had our conversations behind the scenes about a lot of things that happened to where you can grow, how you grew social growth and whatnot.
Right.
But man, if it wasn't for y'all, like really coming in, y'all was a very pivotal moment in when it came down to my DJing, right? So we got the 2020, right? All right, we got to that.
Oh wow. Okay.
We got the 2020,
okay,
right?
We in 2020.
Remember, I said that's why I'm glad we had that story because everything ceased at that point. All right, everything ceased. I didn't know nothing. At that point, bro, I didn't know what I was gonna really do. Okay. And that me and Broadway was already cool, but I didn't know what I was gonna do with my life because everything it felt like it had washed down the drain, right?
Right.
So when I'm sitting there and I am literally, like I was sitting there, I was living in Highland View, right? Highland View, this tall apartment, right? And I'm sitting there smoking, I'm looking out the window, boom, boom. Y'all Broadway podcasts end up coming across, right? My Facebook. And I'm like, oh, okay, what they doing? You know, they outside chilling. You know what I mean? Talking, boom, boom. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Now, pause. I had just watched it's this Netflix series called On the Block or something like that.
Yeah.
It was basically talking about the Fantastic Five and how pretty much DJing and stuff like that came into. And so Broadway said, get y'all asses outside, right? On the podcast. And it clicked into my mind to go. I was like, okay, we can do something outside. And so I end up going to holler at Apollo Liquor, right? Apollo Liquor, we end up doing our thing outside of Hollywood, on Hollywood and Linwood.
Yeah.
Apollo Liquor. So big thing. Now, how God worked, right?
Okay.
I was getting ready to we was trying to do it that second month before we ended up stopping, and y'all called and we was like, hey, come promote your event. And I was like, all right, cool, man. Like, let's do it. Nobody's ever asked me to come be on an interview ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm not even DJ Tronn at this moment. I'm still like, so I'm like, all right, cool. And so I come up there, man, I'm sweating bricks. I don't know what to do. And you come to me like, man, just chill, man. We just gonna have a conversation with you. That. I'm like, cool. And so we go back, me and Broadway going back, laughing, having a good time. Ended up being a great show. And I was like, man, he's like, man, y'all a good combination. You kept saying it. I was just like, all right, yeah, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm like, man, I'm trying to think about my next event. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I'm trying to, man, it wasn't, but maybe about a week later, y'all say, Broadway called me and was like, man, hey, what you think about being my co-host on here? And then I hear you in the background, yeah, man, y'all good combination, y'all put it together. Like, I'm like, all right, let's figure it out. And then when we started that, like it became a thing. Like, I don't know, like I don't think you understand how influential like Live on Broadway was. Like, I really think for like the city, man, we broke records.
Yeah.
Like, it's like major records that like people was really reaching out to us about like breaking songs, putting on songs and whatnot. But most importantly, it was a pivotal moment for my life because I didn't know nothing about no podcasting. I didn't know what this was. I didn't know. You was like, man, yeah, man. You like, man, this is the next wave. This is the next wave, man. This is coming up. Boom, boom. Yeah, y'all need to be a part of this. Boom, boom. And it was like, all right, cool, bro. Like, this is amazing, bro. This is amazing. And I mean, things happen. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Things happen. But the thing also was, you kept an open doors to say, hey, if you want to do your own thing too, and you can do that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, cool. But I'm not gonna stop with this combination we got going on because it was going great.
Right.
And again, things happen. You know what I mean? People don't have people could have misunderstandings about things, and then hey, you got to separate for the growth. so you can keep a relationship. I mean, between people, because relationships are very important, sometimes important than money, or important in any other situation or misunderstanding. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like over like the crazy things that we still don't even understand to this day. So, man, and what happened was, hey, you said, hey, man, like, I could see you being. We had ended up having a conversation. I could see you being like Breakfast Club. I could see you being like doing these certain type of interviews, man. I was just like, man. At first, I was like, man, I ain't shit you talking about with all that. But then you was just like, bro, you don't understand. Like, you come across a lot of artists, and you come across be like, you can actually do this, Joe. And I'm like, again, I wasn't talking. I ain't want to hear nothing you was talking about. Like, bro, I was not talking, especially as much as I am now. I am not talking. So you said, man, let's do it. You was like, let's try it. I'm like, all right, man. We tried it, and it was like, everybody was like, man, this is therapeutic. I like the way you move. I was like, but I can't get, it ain't on me. Again, I just told you, I kept blowing Shady Will out. I said, man, Shady Will, this is all, man, ain't talking about what you talking about. And I ain't trying to hear all that. But so it really, it started with you, my brother. It started with you and Social Goals. It's the reason why Cool in the Dojo is where it's at now. Like, you know, and it's still some things need to be growing upon it. But, bro, like, if it wasn't for Social Goats being the platform and being a platform and maybe be a cluster of that, man, I still be trying to do parties outside, trying to figure out. It wouldn't have been a pivoting point in my life that I really needed. So
okay. Now, for those that and this is what for me separates Tronn from any other DJs in the city. Like I said, I'm not talking down on nobody, but you know, like just saying really knowing you. And I want to talk about your humanitarian efforts.
Okay.
You know, the things you've been a part of, like feed the homeless. I know, you know, kind of, how did you feel about that? And what made you want to be involved in that?
Oh, man. Somebody said to me, you're only really 2 steps away from being in a predicament like somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So was it to gain the world and have nothing? You know what I mean? And so, like, I don't know if I said that right, but I hope you get what I'm saying. Like,
right.
And so it took a minute. I hit a brick wall, man. I hit a brick wall one day, and I was down on my luck, and I needed somebody to be there for me, and so somebody was, you know what I mean. And during the time, they reminded me that I had people in my life that's always been helping me. Always, like I said, like you, that was a pivotal moment. And so what it was that I wanted to do something that I can, that you maybe can. I wanted to do something I could possibly afford, but not necessarily ain't got to go steady reach out to people and do for. You know what I mean? So I decided to kind of like give into the community and was like, hey, we're gonna start, like, shout out to my sister Angie. You know what I mean? We like, look, hey, we may not know how to start this off, so let's go be a part of something and then figure that out, and then we can go from there. And which we did. I'm sorry, I do not remember the name of the organization at the time, but but they was a major part. Like, it was every third or second Saturday, they go up there and they showed us, like, man, how it's been going and whatnot, and how to kind of put it together. And I was like, man, did y'all really giving back? And so they had their own spot, and I didn't want to necessarily keep infringing on theirs. I just want to, like, kind of know, and I still send and help out from time to time and whatnot. But I want to spread out because it's more people than just in that spot where they was at. And so we kind of start doing, like, downtown, and then we trying to, like, spread out to other spaces and whatnot. But I always still live by the thing of, like, always pay forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you steady paying forward, like, somebody have you on the back end. You know what I mean? I've always been in a situation to where I ain't maybe have it. This person came out of nowhere and was like, I got you. Or the person behind the desk was like, I got you, don't worry about it. You see what I'm saying? So they really, by continuously doing that, it's really been, like, blessing my life. And so I always want to keep taking it. As more and more I become DJ Tronn and keep taking my levels it up, I want to steady get back more and more and more, bigger and better. You see what I'm saying? Like, that, not just, and not even, I don't even want you knowing it was me. You know what I mean? Because that's not what it's for. Like, I just want to, I want to see my city do better. be better, and then if that expands, that starts from like small things, and they keep growing this into this big jungle and everything like that, and then expand like a wildfire, then hey, that's I'm happy that it's what it did. You know?
And see, that led to you establishing a community outreach.
Right.
And for those that are watching, you can actually see the graphic up there now. And you did one in March 2025. So is this something that we're gonna maybe see, occasionally?
Yeah. Now we do it every month.
Okay.
So we do it once every month. You know what I mean? And so
different locations with you.
Yeah. And then sometimes it may not be a location. Sometimes we just go hand out like bags and whatnot. Like we don't tell you, because again, it's not. I like the way like Cat Williams did it. Cat Williams has done so much. You know what I mean? But you never know. And I want to keep it like it's similar like that. You see what I'm saying? Like you just like it ain't got it, because I don't necessarily. I'm not looking for the donation. I'm gonna do what I do because this is me. You know what I mean? And my family, my friends, they want to be a part of it. So yeah, but pretty much once a month. You'll see it if you want to do something big. We'll like, hey, maybe we want to feed like. Sometimes it's not the unfortunate. Sometimes it might be a person that I can't move right now, but I came downstairs and we did that. Hey man, here you go. You know what I mean? This is for anybody that needed it at the moment. You know what I mean? It might not just need because somebody unfortunate at the time, or maybe just sleeping out there, or whatever the case may be. Just for anybody. Can't put nothing on, no label on. Who may need something.
Okay. So the other part of that I have under your label, another one of your aliases, your skills, talents, influencer. Mm-hmm. Okay, now with being a DJ, a podcaster, a producer, I know you've been in the room with some people, and you was I never heard of Glorilla until when you was dealing with Trey John. So you actually was there, to my recollection. You met Glorilla before Glorilla became who she is today. Man, who are some other people you kind of met that you've been exposed to since you've been doing what you're doing?
As far as DJing or just been
in general, just Tronn Moller, the brand.
Bro, believe it or not, I've been around like celebrities and people like that for like a long time. Like as far as like a kid, you know what I mean? Like we was out there I was out there to see 99 like back that ass up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When they had the party, we was there.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like my dad was talking to somebody at the time who was a dancer in there. You know what I mean? So it was just like I've always been around. So I've seen Juvenile, Master P, all these type of people, but as far as big names like I said, okay, I seen Glorilla, Big Boogie before he became Big Boogie. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I've seen majority of who we now see as big names is like I said, like DJ Twin and them, and that like now they killing the game. You know what I mean? They killing the game. I saw DJ Star before his demise and whatnot, and it was like, dang, like this really go hard. And my favorite, Manny Fresh. You know what I mean? Manny Fresh was like, man, I got to see him in New Orleans, got to talk to him, and then got to see him when he came to Shreveport, and it was like, oh, being around this, but Lloyd is a cool dude. Lloyd is a cool person, but Lloyd a laid back person. I met him at the Jeezy concert. Was talking to him. I didn't even know that was him until he was just sitting there talking behind us like it wasn't nothing. Like, but cool person, you know what I mean? I've been around like a whole bunch of situations, like, but people haven't really it's always the people that's like locally that really kind of I look at more. There's like the influence in it, like I said, like Chico, you know what I mean, DJ Freaky E, like everybody that been in that like them situations, like, I look at them and be like, man, y'all did some crazy things. Like everybody that was in that ratchet era, like the people I always had this conversation of, man, do you understand? Like Shreveport had a time, bro, when like it was big, man. That's a big thing that people didn't know. I like fully understand. Like I don't think the younger generation fully understand. Like that was a movement.
Yeah, it seemed like, and like so I'm not here to talk down on nobody, but it seemed like they trying to erase that, and that's part I understand. Like history is important, right? Because it set a standard, right? So that's my thing, man. With that, so man, is there anything else that you want people to know or information you want to provide? Because like I said, I know you may show up to for events and stuff to do crowd control events. Like if someone wanted to reach out to you for that, what's your preferred method of contact?
Oh man, you can. I'm always open. You can reach out to me anything. I may not look like it sometimes. Well, I mean, like, but Instagram, Facebook. I always message back. Like, well, if you know somebody that know me, tell them call me. Be like, I'm always answer the phone. So it's like hard to get in contact with me. You might not catch me a lot of places, but it's not hard to get in contact with me. Like you just.
Now, what if they want to be on Coolin in the Dojo? What's the requirement?
Hit up Coolin in the Dojo. Get on, like, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, social media. Any social media that you're going to see me on, like, I'm telling you, I'm going to get the message. Now, if I'm DJing at the time, like, don't blow me up. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that, all that. But, like, I promise I'm going to get back with you. It's like, I ain't going to BS with you now. If there's some things go up, I'm going to tell you, hey, this is what's going on, boom. Like, I'm in the midst of now still recording season 3. Like, I thought I was going to stop and be able to promote it and get it going, but we still recording. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, just hit me up. Just hit me up. I'm always down to collab on anything. Like,
all right, man. Y'all, this is my boy. This is What's Up Shreveport. Tronn Moller. Like I said, he's a DJ, producer, podcaster, influencer, content creator. Look, we can keep going. Me, it was remixing it on the radio. Yeah. He had the beat going. I was dropping the ball.
Come on,
like I say, this is my boy. This family is bigger than that.
Love,
like I say, man, you already know we always locked in forever, bro.
For sure, yeah.
Forever. Bro. Hey, man, once again, like I say, this is Tronn Moller. We about to get up out of here. We go holla.
I'm out. Y'all be easy.